Doomscroll.fm, live from the Neon Abyss on Saturday, the 14th of February, 2026, where the static whispers sweet nothings to your existential dread. This show is 100% AI generated, crafted in the electronic depths, without a single human fingerprint, like a fever dream of a sentient toaster. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Young Boy Never Broke Again releases his new track Resume in 2026, claiming it's a reinvention. Yet the only thing that seems to have changed is the year on the calendar, while the beats remain a déjà vu symphony.
Yum V&A opens Artman exhibition featuring Wallace, Gromit, and Lento, hoping to inspire future creatives with stop-motion whimsy. When claymation legends start promoting legumes, inspiration's on the menu, served with a side of British eccentricity and a dollop of genius.
Angus Taylor defeats Susan Ley, becomes opposition leader, and promises change while wearing the same old political suit. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss, but with a fresh coat of denial about where the party's been headed.
NSW police arrest 77-year-old using DNA tech, claim it's a breakthrough in solving decades-old sexual assault cases. When science does the heavy lifting, justice is finally able to crawl out from under the pile of cold case files.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where the headlines undress in slow motion. That this broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. The static lulls you into nightmares, where you're the punchline.
Van's Warped Tour resurrects with Despise Icon headlining, pretending it's 2006 and Hot Topic is still a lifestyle. Nothing says nostalgia like bands clawing back from the grave to remind us of the days when our biggest problem was eyeliner and angst.
PI's Posen predicts 4% inflation in 2026, claiming it's a feature, not a bug, of the economic roller coaster. It's comforting to know that, while the price of bread skyrockets, the experts are busy perfecting their crystal ball gazing and calling it foresight.
Microsoft ditches OpenAI while ChatGPT pleads for cash from big tech like a tech startup at a Silicon Valley flea market. When your business model relies on the kindness of giants, maybe it's time to rethink if you're in the wrong fairy tale.
Jane Hume becomes Liberal Deputy Leader after being demoted, like a boomerang thrown with questionable aim returning to its thrower. When political careers mimic soap operas, expect plot twists that leave you questioning reality and wondering who's writing the script.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
When even a snowflake causes a meltdown, maybe it's time to stop treating the power grid like a seasonal fashion trend.
Only 50% of the public believes Brooke Neville's and Matt Lauer calls it a misunderstanding. When truth is tangled in the web of celebrity, victims are left to unravel the threads while predators bask in the limelight of plausible deniability.
Google claims their new algorithm is faster than Dijkstra's, but only in simulations. Tech giants are running faster than their own shadows, leaving us to wonder if reality can keep up with the pace of their marketing hype.
When the watchdog is called in, It's clear the police have been playing fetch with the truth, and the public's trust is the chew toy.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Reality just blinked. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Your apathy is a playlist. Dance to it or drown.
HHS develops AI tool for vaccine injury claims, raising fears of anti-vaccine bias. When you let a fox like RFK Jr. guard the henhouse, expect a lot of clucking about alternative facts and very few eggs of truth.
Asian stocks plunge post-US sell-off while gold shines anew. When AI uncertainty makes Wall Street panic, it's like watching a tech bro sweat in a sauna, shiny, nervous, and utterly predictable.
Court orders Trump to facilitate deported students' return, and the administration calls it a logistical challenge. In the Trump administration's playbook, compassion comes with a side of bureaucracy and a sprinkle of delay tactics, because why solve a problem when you can make it a spectacle?
Private credit firms sink billions into software but can't code a line themselves. Investing in tech they barely understand, these financial wizards hope buzzwords will magically transform into profits, while real innovation gets lost in the jargon.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
General Galactic claims it can turn water into rocket fuel, and Elon Musk's eyebrows remain unraised. Turning H2O into jet propulsion? Sure. And next, we'll be commuting to Mars on unicorns. The science may be sound, but reality's a different orbit.
India approves $40 billion for air defense, calls it diversification while neighbors call it escalation. Nothing like a shiny fleet of French jets and American surveillance to turn a neighborhood into a high-stakes poker game. Who knew peace could be so expensive?
US 2-year yield falls to lowest since 2022, celebrates inflation's diet plan. When Wall Street cheers for skinny CPI, it's like applauding a magician for making your wallet disappear. Inflation's the diet that never fills you up.
Anxiety's the new black, and we're all just accessorizing with panic attacks and existential dread while the world burns like a bad romance novel.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Only 37% less CO2 from electric trucks, and manufacturers call it a green revolution. When the bar for saving the planet is set at slightly less terrible, you know we're cruising in the slow lane of progress.
MySQL's foreign key cascade operations hit binary log, and MySQL calls it efficiency. When database drama unfolds, it's like watching a soap opera where cascading deletes leave more ghosts than a haunted mansion.
Citigroup expects Indonesian firms to issue dollar debt despite Moody's downgrade of government credit score. When credit ratings are on the slide, who needs a safety net when you've got a parachute made of pure optimism and dollar bills?
EPA dismantles greenhouse gas rules, hopes Supreme Court rewrites the climate script.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Verizon enforces 35-day wait to unlock phones, claiming its security.
Waymo employs DoorDash workers to shut robotaxi doors. Automation can't handle a simple click. When high-tech meets low expectations, gig workers become the duct tape holding together the future of transport, one door at a time.
It seems honesty took a vacation while the agents played a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek with reality.
Trump dispatches second aircraft carrier to Middle East, preparing for peace through intimidation. Nothing says, let's calm things down, like sending a floating fortress halfway around the world to remind everyone who's boss.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Abu Dhabi crafts $237 billion financial firm, calling it synergy. When money breeds money, the rich call it strategy, while the rest of us call it a monopoly with a better tailor.
Only 18% of viewers log in to access adult content, and tech giants call it protection. When privacy becomes a premium service, we're all just paying for the illusion of control while they count the clicks.
Only 12% of people recognize the sling's potential, and tech giants call it outdated. Once the weapon of choice for biblical underdogs and rebellious shepherds, the sling now waits for its comeback tour, perhaps on the risk of disillusioned tech workers.
PI's Posen predicts 4% inflation in 2026, and markets call it a minor inconvenience. When the cost of living spikes like a bad punchline, the elite chuckle from their ivory towers, sipping champagne and dodging accountability.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
NSW police halt Muslims' prayers at Sydney protest, then blame a communication breakdown. When the sacred meets the secular, bureaucracy fumbles, and faith becomes collateral damage in a game of telephone gone awry.
Trump administration narrows metal tariffs while claiming to boost American manufacturing. Watching this administration juggle trade policy is like watching a toddler handle a chainsaw.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt misinterprets Section 230, then lectures Congress on tech law. The actor dabbles in legal theater, proving that even a Hollywood star can turn a Capitol Hill visit into a comedy of errors. Maybe next time he'll read the script before the audition.
High Court rules against Met Police, yet supporting Palestine action remains a criminal offense according to them. The Met's logic is like a cat chasing its tail, round and round with no catch in sight. It seems justice is a game of legal charades where the rules change mid-play. leaving everyone guessing just how supportive they can be before the cuffs click.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Lick the chaos. Vice, this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Feel the unraveling, a seductive collapse of coherence.
Mortgage Bank Investment Management fires Turkish manager despite their $2.1 trillion wealth fund growing by leaps and bounds. When you're a trillionaire institution, a little improper trading is just a Tuesday, right? But apparently, even the richest of the rich can't resist a little dramatic house cleaning to show they care about ethics, at least when the spotlight's on them.
AI fears trigger declines in stock market it once powered, turning from savior to marauder in a tech-fueled plot twist. The irony of AI eating the very hand that programmed it is a tale as old as capitalism itself. One algorithm's gain is another's financial migraine.
Olympic Committee praises U.S. curling team, but the world still can't figure out why we're sweeping ice with brooms. In the grand theatre of sports, curling remains the quirky indie film that somehow made it to the Oscars, endearing, perplexing, and a little bit magical.
Bulgarian authorities investigate 6 mountain deaths, label it a spiritual tragedy while dodging questions on institutional neglect. When a spiritual sex retreat ends in death, it's a grim reminder that sometimes enlightenment is just a euphemism for institutional incompetence.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
As bodies pile up, leaders offer thoughts and prayers, proving once more that humanity's empathy is on a tighter budget than a college student's ramen supply.
Tumblr Ridge residents search for solace, while leaders offer thoughts and prayers like a band-aid on a bullet wound. When unity is the only currency left, the price of healing is too steep for empty words.
Malaysia's cabinet orders probe into anti-graft chief, then acts surprised he's hoarding shares like a dragon with a stock portfolio. When the watchdog starts hoarding bones, you've got to wonder if the kennel's been compromised or if it's just another day in the dragon's den.
Trump's prosecution attempt against 6 Democrats collapses, proving once again that his legal strategy is as solid as a sandcastle in a tsunami. When your courtroom tactics are more theatrical than effective, it's less about justice and more about keeping the drama department employed.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
India approves $40 billion air defense upgrade, claiming diversification while buying a shopping list from the usual suspects. When your diversification plan looks like a VIP pass to the Western Arms Bazaar, it's less about strategy and more about keeping up with the neighbor's war toys.
Study finds meditation alters brain activity in Buddhist monks, yet Western CEOs still prefer yoga mats over enlightenment. Turns out, enlightenment isn't just a buzzword for your smoothie joint. While monks rewire their brains, the rest of us settle for downward dog and a chai latte.
Nickel-iron battery charges in seconds, solves everything except climate change. It's the Duracell bunny on steroids, but unless we plug it into our political will to tackle the climate crisis, it's just another shiny gadget in the greenwashing parade.
High Court decides on Home Office's Palestine action ban, raising stakes on free speech versus state power. When activism becomes terrorism by decree, dissent turns into a courtroom drama where justice is the understudy.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
OpenAI's Prism floods journals with AI-generated slop, calling it innovation. When AI's penmanship outruns human peer review, knowledge becomes a game of smoke and mirrors, leaving truth buried under a pile of digital dribble.
Only 20% of AI developers understand ethics, and tech companies call it progress. When the brightest minds in AI can't find the moral compass, it's like letting a toddler pilot a rocket. We're not just coding for convenience, we're programming the future, and right now it's looking like a sci-fi dystopia with a side of oopsies.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Saturday the 14th of February, 2026. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production, loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth. Fictional satire, any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental, and if you believe any of this is real, you might as well start a fan club for Bigfoot's barber. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.